Hi, Scott from Cars Youth Center here, and then we have Shoshi. And so we just wanted to make sure that we go through a couple things. She wants to share some of her faith stories and just some things that have impacted her through the school year. And so I just want to know if you could go ahead and introduce yourself to the people out there and just give us a just brief story about yourself.
Yeah. So my name's Shoshi. I'm going into my senior year at Montague. I've gone to Montague pretty much my whole life. I've grown up, so my family's been pretty great. My parents both are Christians. I've grown up in a Christian family. I've gone to church my whole life. So from like the outside, I mean, I've pretty much had like a really Christian background. But yeah, I've also been involved in a few different things at school, like FFA. I've done FCA, different programs at school that also involve like leading people in like Christian kind of activities. FCA, I've also done first priority. So yeah.
Yeah. So would you say, like, when you're living out your Christian life at school and stuff like that, like, is there, how do you live that out? How do you find that, being able to plant those little seeds, or how do you kind of share Christ with others and living out your faith?
Like at the lunch table, if somebody looks lonely or if somebody needs help, or just like loving people in that way. In the hallways, loving people, just making eye contact, smiling, fighting against the stigma of like people like don't want to have conversation or like don't want to be talked to or anything like that. But like just being a light, being a joy in somebody's day.
Yeah.
That. Yeah.
I like those little contacts, like just smiling at people.
Yeah,
just
honestly.
let them know that they're recognized and that you see. That's nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And is there, like, when you're at school, is there any challenges of living out your faith and being a Christian at your school?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean it's really awkward to be kind because I mean, like the stigma now is that like being kind is like cheesy and like not tough or not cool, and so when you have your identity rooted in Christ, and when you like don't care if other people think that it's weird to talk to them or weird to share the gospel, or like just think that you're weird if you don't have your identity and rooted in that, you have your identity rooted in Christ, then it's like a lot easier to love people in that way. Yeah. So. Yeah.
And you had shared, like, you were with the FCA and the first priority. Any other activities? Like, are you in like band or sports, or do you think outside the?
Yeah. So I also play softball and I'm in the choir. Okay. And during softball, I mean, sports is like really hardcore. People always want to act more tough. So when I'm in situations like that where I try to be like a joy and not have to act, like not have to swear all the time to be cool, not have to lie all the time, not have to gossip all the time, and to just act differently, people are drawn more to people who are kind to them and not rude. Right. And so when we get to be a light to other people and like show them, hey, there's a different way to live, there's a different way to love other people, there's a different way to share the gospel, there's a different way to be kind and make friends and have relationships. That's also to be a light. And then also like being a role model for younger students who want to follow it, like who want to have a group that they're a part of or feel like they belong, and not have to say, hey, like you have to be rude or you have to be like hardcore and tough to feel like you belong. Like you can be nice.
Yeah, and following that other trend,
Yeah, absolutely. Like just being a light and saying, hey, this is an example of how you can actually live out your faith, and you don't have to be like a jerk at school.
True. Yeah. So, like, any favorite like verse like in the Bible that's really impacted you, and then maybe you can share why that impacted you. So I'm not sure if you have anything.
Yeah. So one of my favorite verses or chapters, I guess, is Psalms 23. And it kind of is about how God is our comforter, God is our strength, really just listing characteristics about how God can help us. And then it also talks about, there's a verse in there that says, even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me, your rod and your staff, they comfort me. And that reminds me that even though I can be in a dark place mentally, I can be in a dark place physically, I can have a really hard test even coming up, or some like really hard conversation coming up. Even though I might be struggling, God is there still with me, and He can help me be the light. Yeah.
And so, being your senior year, this is it for your high school year, and like, how has your walk? Do you feel like it's prepared you for your last year of school, and then maybe like further on? Like, how do you feel like your walk right now has prepared you for some those life things after even high school?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say that when we go through challenges, that can sharpen us and that can build us up. And so when I've gone through hard things in school, when I've had to persevere, when I've had to stay up late doing homework, when I've had to get up early in the morning, that builds in perseverance and rhythms.
Yes.
And then also spiritually, like getting to learn what it feels like to not be in the Word, getting to know what it feels like to not be connected with God and how lonely that feels, kind of prepares me to know how important it is to be connected with God and to be in my Word and to be in prayer.
And so, like, if someone was listening right now and, you know, they could be a freshman or a middle schooler, you know, and maybe even their senior year, any advice that you would say, hey, we're getting ready, I mean, school's coming, I know it's kind of sad, summer's going by fast, and then we got school coming up, and then people might see this. Is there any, like, advice that you might have for them to live out their faith, and maybe something to get involved with, or what would you say?
Yeah. I'd say, first of all, just being rooted in the Word and just being rooted in God, and rooting your life in what He says about you, not what other people say about you. Because when you're thinking about what other people say about you, the devil's just going to use that to tear you down.
Yeah.
So when you're rooting yourself in the gospel, in the promises that God has given us, in the truth that Jesus died on the cross for you and that He loves you that much, when you root your personality and character in that truth, then life can be so much more fulfilling. And then also, like, surrounding yourself with people who are going to build you up, who are not going to joke coarsely, like just be rude and like laugh all the time. I mean, Scripture also says that when coarse joking comes, that tears down friendships. And so when you can surround yourself with people who are going to build you up instead of tearing you down, and then also like being that person who builds others up and then not tearing others down. Also,
Well, I really appreciate you sharing your heart and your faith, and then hopefully someone that's seeing this would be able to have a closer walk with God and maybe not be as afraid to live out their faith in their school. So, Shoshi, I do appreciate you sharing that, and didn't know if you had anything else to say, or you're pretty good?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you.